There's a link to the meeting minutes in the chat. If you haven't added your name yet, please go ahead and do that. The meeting minutes are a communal effort, so you can just go ahead and add any topic that you want to discuss to the agenda or add your name to the attendees list. We'll be starting in about a minute. All right, we're 5 minutes in. Let's start. Okay, welcome everybody. This is the Meshery Dev meeting. We take time out once a week to discuss things around Meshery and related projects. You can add any items to the agenda which concern these projects, anything that you've been working on, or if you have any questions related to either Meshery, mesheryctl, meshmap, or any of the related projects. Go ahead, add items to the agenda in the meeting minutes. If you don't have access to the meeting minutes, just signal in the Zoom chat or on Slack and somebody will get you access. All right, starting out, today we have a demo by Nupur, certain questions from Dhruv, and another feedback item from Anirudh. Before we start, a quick update. Some of the people from the community are busy with workshops this week. Istio workshops, they are being held today and tomorrow. I'll add a link to the meeting minutes for anybody who wants to attend. So we have a couple of people missing from the meeting today. Lee, Abhishek, and Kush. And hopefully we'll have them joining us next week. All right, Nupur, do you want to go ahead with your demo? Nupur? Am I? Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yep, you are.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so I was not able to hear you, but I heard my name, so I'm assuming you called out my name for the topic.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I think it would be better if we discuss all the issues that we have for today, and then let's keep the demo later so that like there will be less time because I don't know how long will it take the demo to finish. So it will be nice if all the issues will be discussed before the demo. If Shruti, you are okay with that.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense. All right. Anirudh, do you want to go ahead with yours then?
Yeah, yeah. So, from like mine is not a demo, or anything, so it's mainly a feedback. So the thing like I and Lee we discussed on having an experimental command for meshery.ctl. Right. So currently, if you see the meshery.ctl docs, we don't have any experimental subcommand, uh, which which will become an issue or more like an enhancement because like as we have currently, I just added meshery mesh like for SMI conformance, that's meshery mesh verify. So adding those commands would to the direct stable area would be bad, or at least it wouldn't be recommended for users to do that often. So we're planning on adding an experimental command where we would have all the
All right.
undefined commands and their health issues there. So
I lost you there in between. But is the question that the command should be created,
yeah, like
or are you looking for general?
is it do you think it should be created? Like I just need a general feedback. Like do we need an experimental command?
All right.
Yeah, hi. This is Michael.
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to make it clear and also to have it
Hmm.
out in the wild and that people can test it and that we can get feedback on that. We could also consider calling it beta or alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Like G-Cloud has this,
Yeah.
they do that, but experimental is just fine. But I think it would be a good idea.
Yeah. But like when Liana had the discussion, he pointed out Istio having something similar. So they had, I guess, experimental itself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's yeah. So experimental is fine, or beta as G-Cloud has. So anyway, something that people might have seen before is always good, so that they understand what it is. So experimental is a bit more, be a bit more cautious than maybe if you say beta or alpha. So I think it's good.
and the other thing is like if anyone wants to work on Meshery mesh commands, just let me know because like we have a lot to do for Meshery mesh. Like it's basically a new subcommand. So if anyone's interested, let me know, and we'll have a discussion on adapters and all.
All right. Anirudh, could you explain what an experimental command is for anybody who does not?
Yeah, so basically, an experimental command would be any command that is not stable enough or is not good enough. At least we think it is not good enough to be used by general public, uh, or even if general public wants to use it, it is not as it might not be good. Like first thing, the command should be defined, right? So any command that those that are mainly there or that are very specific to their function and what they do, those will be the main commands. And experimental commands would be any command that comes under experimental section. For example, if it's a new command or if it's part of a subcommand which is not has been implemented yet. So it's piece of uh, commands that you create, and in the end you make it a complete subcommand, and then you ship it.
Hello, good morning. I will be interested in helping you. I mean, I'm not as experienced as all of you. I'm new in the community, but I'm happy to help.
Yeah, that would be great. Just can you drop me a message on Slack? That I don't know if you're like it's the same name as in
Yes,
Slack.
yes, but I'll write you on Slack. No problem.
Yeah.
That's great, Anirudh. You already found two people. Pratik wants to work on it as well.
Yeah. Pratik, do send me a message on Slack. Thanks.
Well, if anybody else is interested, do the same, pinging Anirudh on Slack, and I guess you'll be helped. and provided with any resources that you need. All right. If that's all, Anirudh, we'll move on.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Dhruv,
Hey,
I'm
I
not
had some
sure.
doubts, but yeah, they're cleared. If you want, I can give a small update on the SMI spec thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like currently, the two adapters, Kuma and OSM, were not crashing while you were invoking the SMI test. They have not now been resolved, so you won't get error. You can like now yeah, run a SMI test if you want. And we have a final layout ready for our tables. And I'm just like few tweaks here and there are left. And I can't share my screen, so I'm not showing you. And yeah, that's all.
All right, a little context for that. Dhruv was talking about the Meshery UI
And the adapters itself,
and the
they
adapters
were
itself.
they were crashing while you were invoking tests. Now they are not. So if anyone wants to check them out, you can.
All right, so check them out. Go on Meshery, go set it up. If you have any issues, put it on Slack. We'll help you out. And as Dhruv said, the adapters are working now, especially for the OSM adapter, of the new OSM adapter.
Mhm.
I guess that's it from you, Dhruv.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
All right, thank you for sharing. Um, Nupur, do you want to explain this issue?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yep.
Yeah, this specific issue is regarding like I recently had a crash of my operating system, so I installed everything again. So before installing Docker Compose, I tried to install mesheryctl. So as mesheryctl system start, I guess, or like almost all the commands of mesheryctl have a pre-check if Docker Compose exists or not, and if it doesn't exist, it tried to like install it. So as I was trying to install mesheryctl command using like bash. So the last after installing mesheryctl, what it does, it starts the bash that is written to like install mesheryctl command have a last command that is used to start mesheryctl, which requires docker compose. So it fails because in like for example ubuntu, it needs sudo permission to install anything. Just like to install mesheryctl, it required permission, and we switched the permission here from like Nupur to sudo. So like in my case. So similarly for Docker Compose as well, we are facing the same issue of permission. So it would be better if somebody or even I could fix it. So I just wanted to put it out there that do we want it like this, that permission denied, or do we want it that unable to, like an informative message would be better either, or it would be better if it takes the permission just like we did while installing mesheryctl. So it's just up for like discussion if anybody wants. So, like what would be the better way to do it?
Nupur, regarding
Um,
this, I actually
yeah.
commented on this issue. So if you could see my comment here, and the main thing here is that whenever you do a Docker command, so you as soon as you install
Mm-hmm.
Docker on Ubuntu or Mac, you don't like it's not automatically added as a sudo, right? So anytime you run a Docker command, you have to do sudo docker uh, run hello, right? But once you
Okay,
add
so I'll
Docker to
tell you.
sudo,
Wait, Anirudh. I have added Docker to a sudo group. So like I can run any Docker container without using sudo command. So that's my issue here.
okay, so you're saying if you run Docker compose dot, you're getting permission issue.
Can you repeat?
So you're saying like when you run Docker compose on the Meshery
I
main
don't have
repo.
Docker Compose as of now on my. Okay, the issue is I don't have Docker Compose on my machine as of now, but I have
Okay.
Docker on my machine, and it is added to sudo group. So that's what I am
Okay,
like.
okay, okay.
This is the issue. So and like
Alright.
this issue mostly occur with like Debian or Debian operating systems. We also had like we previously faced this same issue with like with the bash script that we have for installing mesheryctl. So
And this is
that's
actually
Actually,
part of
Nipul,
Linux. So anything
yeah, I
Linux
faced the
requires
same issue
Docker
with Ubuntu.
Compose to be installed separately. Okay, so I just saying like anytime you do for like Linux and Windows systems, you need like unless and until you have Docker desktop, you need to install Compose separately to run Compose commands. You don't get it packaged with Docker. So that's the thing.
yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a
So
general
like
problem with
the
Windows and
issue
Linux
here is
systems.
precisely if I go to the issue is like if I precisely go to the issue is if Docker Compose is not present, either it should not try installing. If it is trying installing, either give an informative message that mesheryctl is installed but unable to start the service. It could be one, two, uh, like permission denied, just like we are doing above. No, like for mesheryctl, we have that in like we face I have attached here that cannot move slash nopal slash mesheryctl to slash local slash bin slash mesheryctl, as we need permission here for sudo. So we moved to sudo permission and then installed it successfully. So just like that
Okay.
we are doing above, we can do similar for Docker Compose. That's what I'm trying to say. These are two
Here,
options, and which one we want to choose, that's up to us. So that's up for discussion.
Understood, Nipul. I think the first option is a better one. Giving a message saying that Docker Compose is not installed and that this is how you can install it before running mesheryctl.
Shrit, it already says that. So you could see the message in here. So
Like
it's written
if
Docker
you
Compose is not installed.
look just like yeah,
And
like Anirudh is going right. Like it's saying that Docker Compose is not installed, attempting Docker Compose installation, either put a message that Docker Compose installation failed due to permission issues, but
yeah,
mesheryctl, because this gives a confusion to like
yeah.
I understood what's the issue and I know that mesheryctl is installed on my machine, but to a newbie it can be a bit of a confusion that did my mesheryctl install failed itself. So that's what I think.
Mm, okay, even the mesheryctl installation failed actually.
Yeah, I did.
I mean,
Yeah, but
it
we
built it,
switch
but
the
it didn't move
permission.
it. Hmm.
No, it did move it after taking the permission.
Okay, so then why am I seeing a message here saying I cannot move this
Okay.
to this location
Okay, so this
permission?
is how Bash was like. We had a whole discussion about that. That do we need sudo permission from the starting, or only when the user doesn't have the access to make changes? So if you see that it gives an error that permission denied, but the next line also asks you to enter the password for sudo, and then permission gives you a message just like meshery like permission resolved and mesheryctl installed using sudo permissions. So it
Okay,
was
there should be some
intentional to
logic
give that
there.
error and then take sudo permissions.
I don't think this is good. Like, it's not good. Like first you're saying permission denied, and then the permission is granted. So you should remove this whole line altogether. Cannot move this to this. Anyway, like this
Uh,
Alright,
is
does anybody
ambiguous.
else have an opinion?
Actually, okay, the reason I can give you a like okay, yeah.
Does anybody else have an opinion on
Shruti, is
this?
my voice still breaking?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, maybe I had an opinion on this. Maybe you could ask for sudo permissions when it from the start of the command, because when you come like all the way down, you're then failing the command. So maybe you can fail faster and ask for sudo the moment it's run. Maybe that's a good approach here.
Uh, that's not done because of a specific reason. That is with curl, like to anybody who like a user will have a issue of like security, like with any curl command, using sudo is not considered as a safe way to do it. So that was the reason we were taking permission later.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I
You could
agree.
also modify the path itself. Like instead of installing it, like you're doing your user local bin, right? So you could do a move
Right.
into the user's home directory. Like there is a Meshery folder in home directory. You could simply put the binary there and add it to the path.
Yeah, yeah.
And there are a couple of ways you could do it without sudo permissions, but getting sudo permission from the get-go is a better thing, because even here, when you're asking for you see the sudo permission password for Nupur, right? So even here, the user won't know what the actual command is. He could say that this is also a security flaw, that you've shown me it's MV, but is it really MV? So that part could also be an issue.
If I could share something based on experience, I think it's a moot point, and you shouldn't be concerned about whether you have the permissions or not. That that depends on uh, whether you're allowed to put things in user local bin or not. More often than not, the user will have permissions to move it there, and that's the de facto path where you put your binaries. So I think just prompting them for permission as and when it's needed based on the command that's being run within your script should be sufficient.
So I guess that's another set of issue for bash installation command. So
It's up for
again, coming
discussion,
back to the
seriously.
previous question here.
All right. Do we need a message or not, right? All right, Nupur. That's a lot of discussion on the issue. I don't think we arrived in a confirmed solution here, but you'll have a lot of ideas to work with. And I think we lost Nupur for a bit.
No. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are.
Is my voice breaking or is it clear?
It's fine. It's better than last time.
Okay. So let's discuss it when Lee is here, I guess, so that we can reach some conclusion at least. So.
Yeah, sure.
But for now, are
You
we
should have
like
gotten a few.
sticking to a proper message or something?
Yes, but also sudo permission should be a given, or at least should be taken as a given for most or for general cases. But does it answer your question?
I guess there is some internet issue at my end. So, like, City, if you don't mind, can you please write what you were saying,
Yeah,
in
sure.
the development
Yeah, sure.
meeting minutes, so that it would be better for next.
I'll do that. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's move on for now because yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. Hold on. All right. We have an open call for UI UX designers in the Red 5 community, or if you're just joining in, that's completely fine as well. If you are interested in taking this up, we have an open issue for you that you can go check out, that you can go help with. This is an open call, so anybody interested, speak up now if you're on the call. If you're not on the call, I'll also be posting this on the newcomers channel. So just signal there and we'll get you started.
Hey, I would like to take
Right.
this up.
Is anybody in the call interested? Great. Harshita, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I'm actually facing some issues. I mentioned it over Slack, but as soon as I deal with that, I'll be happy to contribute to this.
Remind me if I'm wrong, or correct me if I'm wrong, but you were trying to set up Meshery on WSL2, right?
Yeah, WSL2. Yeah.
All right. If you want to, what was your issue again? If we can help you right now.
Actually, I was trying to install WSL2, but I cannot update my WSL to WSL2 according to the versions. It's compatible, but I don't know what is the issue.
Oh, all right. That's a different discussion then.
Yeah.
Uh, Ping me on Slack and I'll help you out. Is that okay?
Yeah, actually, you and one more person has mentioned some solution. I'll try that out. And if I do not figure out anything, I'll ping you again.
All right. That sounds good. Um, well, moving on. We have some newcomers in the call, I suppose. And we have this tradition where anybody new in the meeting comes up on the stage and has their 15 seconds of fame and introduces himself and what they do and anything that you like to add to that. So, Oleg Bershanov, would you like to introduce yourself? Please correct me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Oleg? Mr. Bershanov? All right, that's a no-go. Um, Slade and Noons,
Oh yeah.
would you like to? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Sladen. You got the name pronunciation right the first time, so yeah, great. So yeah, so I completed my undergraduate from Mumbai University, and I'm an open source enthusiast. I've completed like my Google Summer of Code with the Jenkins organization, and I've done a couple of internships again with the Linux Foundation and Community Bridge. Apart from that, I'm currently working full time with JP Morgan and Chase, and I'm quite interested in cloud native technologies. So service meshes, Kubernetes, and of that sort. And service meshes are something new to me, and that's why I came across Layer 5, Istio, and some of them. I had a chat with Lee last year about contributing to Layer 5, but that didn't work out because I had some other commitments. So now that those commitments are done, I plan to join the community and contribute much more here. So some of my areas of interest, just not to drag the introduction too long, are a Golang, maybe Rust a bit, and Java is my main tech stack. So I don't want to repeat that same thing here. I don't think any of Meshery or Layer 5 is built on Java, but yeah, that's a great thing. But yeah, that's my short introduction.
All right, that's a very nice production. You're very welcome to the community, Sladen, and
Thank you so
let's get you started somewhere.
much. Thanks.
All right. Oh, right. I'm so sorry, Harshita, if I misspelled your name. Uh, there you go, it's corrected. All right, moving on, Nipur. Looking forward to your demo now, if you're ready for it. Um, by the way, Fad, are you also new? If you are, please go ahead, introduce yourself.
I introduced myself last week, but no problem. I'm also a newcomer. Last week, and I'm working on my first contribution. I'm my final year CSE as well, but I'm actually from Ghana, West Africa. And I came across the Meshery project online, and then I sent a DM to Lee on LinkedIn, and I became a part of the community. Yeah, so that's it about me.
That's great. If I didn't say it last week, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Nupur is having some audio issues, I think. Nupur, any chance it's fixed by now?
Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear the frustration in
Am
your
I
voice.
audible?
Yep, you are.
Thank God.
Do you want to go ahead with the demo? All right. All right, while Nupur handles her audio issues, I'll give a little bit of background on this. So Nupur did a fantastic demo of the Meshery CRI and an intro to Golang in one of our Hacktoberfest meetups. So again, a little background on that. So in the month of October, we have or are planning to host 4 or 5 Hacktoberfest meetups every Thursday. 8:30 MCT. You can find a link to it. I'll add a link to the meetings table in the meeting minutes. You can go look it up. So in the last meeting, Nipur was kind enough to do a tutorial on the Meshery CRI and working with Golang or getting started with Golang. And she is going to do a short demo of the project and an overview of the project for us today. Hopefully her audio issues will be fixed and we'll be able to learn a lot very soon. Nupur, just speak up if you are able to. Okay, that's a no-go. All right, and by the time Nupur comes back to us, I'll take the time to give a shout out to the Hacktoberfest meetups. We have them every Thursday at 8:30 MCT. That is Central Time, and anybody is welcome to attend. For this month, we are having a special series of tutorials. And if you're looking to learn or get a one-way ticket into any of the projects related with Layer 5, which includes Meshery or the SMP project or the Nighthawk project or any of the website projects, you are very, very welcome to join in. And yeah, there it is. All right. So this is a meeting table and it has links to every single community meeting that Layer 5 holds. The meeting that I'm currently talking about is the newcomers meeting. And you are very welcome to join tomorrow. While we're on the issue, we have an intro to GitHub session tomorrow, taken by one of our meshmates, Ruth. We'll also be having an overview of the projects. So if you are participating in Hacktoberfest or if you just want a better outlook into their file, you're very welcome to join. Ruth, do you want to give an intro about your session tomorrow?
Hi everyone. So
Hey.
yeah, so this session is going to be about a walkthrough to your first country. Can everyone hear me? Let me just be clear.
Yeah, I can.
Am I audible? Oh, okay.
Yep, you are.
So yeah. So the session is going to just be about a walkthrough to your first contribution with Git and GitHub. So the idea is just to like introduce Hacktoberfest participants that are just coming in, how to, for those of them that are actually new to contributing to open source, how to just the walk through the step to contribute to the and issue and
Ruth, your
local.
voice
So
is breaking.
going through those steps one by one just to make everybody up there. So please, you can, oh, can you? Hello, hello.
Hey, your voice is breaking, Ruth.
Let me use the chat instead.
Sure, go ahead. All right, Nipper is having some audio issues. Prateek, would you like to go ahead with the demo?
Actually, it was not a demo. I was running Meshery on my local machine right now. I have been able to do most of the stuff, but I am not getting the required response I was expecting from make run local. I guess that it's just failing. Like it has failed 3 times by now, and I don't know. I have set up everything properly. Okay, 1 second. Could you demo running Meshery CTL locally? It's not working right now, so
I will guide you in this so that all the newcomers could get a track to that. And as my internet is not that great, your screen sharing would do wonders. And you going with your doubts and any of us figuring the right way to do it would be helpful for almost
right.
everybody who is here. So
Sure, I'll share.
No pressure, Prateek. This just maybe take it
My
as a
my laptop was also hung
yeah.
up like 15 minutes ago, and I was texting from Zoom mobile. Yes, I'll be sorry. Shruti, can you just stop screen
Uh,
sharing?
yeah, sure. Anirudh, um, are you available right now?
Yeah.
Could you
Yes,
run
I
Meshery
am.
CTL once? You
Yeah,
are on
it's
your
on
laptop?
actually. So let me share. You
Yeah, sure,
cannot
go.
share.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So see my screen.
Yep.
So let's just get that possible. And yeah, so it's ready here. Okay. What do you want me to do with Metro CTL?
If you had the
Nupur?
local, I was thinking like a local setup, how it actually runs. Mine is failing from time to time.
Okay. So
uh,
usually how I do setup.
unfortunately, I am just able to see a black screen of Anirudh. So
Okay.
if he could just demo how to run mesheryctl command locally, like
Okay.
make run local like so that
Okay.
would
Yeah,
be
just
great.
yeah.
I'll do it. So there are a few ways you can do. You can build Meshery CTL. The best one then, and the one that I prefer is simply going to Meshery CTL directory and running make. That builds your latest Meshery CTL binary, and you can simply use this. So there's the Meshery CTL command, and again there are make. They are basically the same thing. So and yeah, the one best thing, like if you don't know what a make does, so you just open the make file and look for what you're interested in. So they're like, for example, you need UI lint, you could see run UI lint and what it does. So for example, I guess she said, what did you say about for Meshery CTL? Yeah, here's Meshery CTL. So it's going to mesheryctl, then doing go build and creating an object mesheryctl. So this is make mesheryctl. Okay, mesheryctl is up to date. So this is totally how you build mesheryctl after updating it. And then for running it, you have to go to mesheryctl repository and do like you have a binary, right? And remember, you have to add a dot in advance, and then access mesheryctl binary like this, and then run any command. So that's how you run mesheryctl and build it.
I'll just ping you up if it does not work. I'm actually building it right now, and I'll tell you when if it
So
works.
are you building Meshery or are you building mesheryctl? Like, are you building the server or the client?
I'm building this server. I was running the local make local.
So for server, like if you guys are familiar with Docker and Docker Compose,
yes.
I'd recommend using Docker Compose. Like I always use Docker Compose for running Meshery locally. Like I don't run mesheryctl system start. I do a Docker Compose directly. You could use mesheryctl. It's up to you. I mean, see. So right now my Meshery is down. Right? So I just do Docker Compose and up, and that's it. It'll build the images. It'll start everything. And if I go like 9081, yes, Meshery is up, and it connects to my Kubernetes. It connects to my adapters, and everything's up.
Okay, so like if I have to run Meshery only, I'll first have to do Docker Compose, and then I'll do.
Yeah. So the Docker Compose up is for running Meshery backend, the main Meshery backend. And after
okay,
that,
so,
yeah,
so
continue.
my front end is working properly.
Yeah.
For now, and it is not able to establish a connection properly with the backend. So that is what I was having trouble with.
Okay, so could you share like what exactly is happening? Are you able to like how are you building first thing? How are you building the backend?
I was running make run local first, and it failed.
Okay.
I did run Docker. I had activated Docker before that, but I did not know about Docker Compose properly. So maybe that's the reason it failed.
I'll run make run local. Okay. So what make run local is, it directly creates it only creates Meshery container. It doesn't create the rest. So it doesn't create the adapters config and all those stuff. So it doesn't add those adapters. That's the only issue, and that's why I use Docker instead. So it's, I guess, make run locals up. Is it? Okay, so this is unable to fetch list of adapters. This is mainly because the server is up, right? So, okay, that's strange. This must be the issue someone else was talking about. Okay. There's a true provider. Let me just configure it once. Java Compose up. Meshery. Authorize. Okay, it's authorized. Now close it. And fast. Make run local. So you must be seeing this part, right? like the main
Yes,
UI,
yes,
and
yes.
you're
The
saying that
dashboard is a good.
you're having issues with backend. So basically, this is
Yes.
actually the backend. So this whole thing is actually the backend. There's not. This is like there's a template of UI. It is a build of UI, but it is not a development build of UI. So this is the production build of UI, which is connected with the backend, and the backend in this case is the container which is running, or you could say it's basically a Go build which is running.
Okay.
So you might face issues if you work on this. The best way to go about it would be using either a Docker Compose or running mesheryctl system start. Right.
Sure.
So
Well,
these are the best bet for you, like if you want to work on it, because you also get the adapters, right? And if you need to test some things, you obviously need to use adapters.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Let me know if you face any
sure.
issue.
Sure.
Drop me a message on Slack. I'll help you out. Okay.
All right.
So
Nipur,
there's
did you want to point out anything else? If you can't speak up, just type it out. All right. The floor is open to questions. If anybody else has to ask something, Anirudh will be kind enough to show it for you.
Okay,
yeah, I'm
so
free now.
So sorry once more again, Anirudh, like no, like if I had to if I had to start development on this, the right path to go is start with make local run and then Docker Compose, right?
No. Just Docker Compose. Like you could do mesheryctl's meshery system start.
Start.
Yeah. So you could use this command. This basically does a Docker Compose, right?
Okay.
Once you run this, you get a Meshery server, and its adapters pre-configured and linked for you. So Meshery, like make run local is if you want to run Meshery server and only the Meshery server, not the adapters, not like it doesn't build any other resources other than the Meshery server, which is basically a Go binary.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If
To
you still
add
have
to
any
that,
doubts, it's your feel free to ask. Like if you still have any doubt, because this thing, it took me a lot of time to understand that it's basically a Go binary, and instead it's using containers would be the best bet.
Yes, yes.
all right. To add a little bit of context there, if you want to run Meshery, some prerequisites are having npm. Off the top of my head, npm node go and Docker installed on your local system before doing any of the things that Anirudh just showed.
Yes, I have all of them set up. It's just I'm not getting it properly. The right one.
Right. For Windows systems, you can just go ahead and download the entire Docker desktop application. It's easier than having Docker Compose as a separate element here. All right. Nupur, anything else to add? Um, Anirudh,
Yeah.
could you see the chat once, the Zoom chat? I think Nupur has a question for you.
Okay.
Or a request for you.
I'll look at it.
Hello, Anirudh, am I audible?
Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to add a command? Okay. So,
It would be good to like for people here to understand it if you add a minor command here.
yeah, sure. So I'll just okay. I'll explain the architecture, right? The how the architecture itself is. So you guys have so here you have root dot like basic. It's basically Golang, and in Golang you have different forms of creating packages as how you have in Java. So this is the root package. This is the main. This is your basically the main file, which which has all your commands and flags configured. So this is the main endpoint here. So you have version command, system, perf, and mesh, right? So anything you see here, so mesheryctl help, this command is actually executed on root.go, and it shows you like you have help, perf, system, version, all the commands that are mentioned here. So this is the available subcommands. For adding any command, you just pass it as an argument here, right? So let's just say anirudh.anirudh.cmd. I know the naming is weird, but let's just stick with it. Okay. So I'll create a new folder. Let's just say Anirudh, and I'll create a base file anirudh.go. Like you can build the setup on your own, but I actually prefer getting any of these or get any of the versions. Mesh.go is currently the smallest one, so it would give you a template. Simply paste it here. Maintain your package name, right, and the code errors. And so yeah, you have Anirudh CMD, and then yeah, for adding flags you need to I don't need any. I don't have any subcommands here. So this is my init function, where basically anything you need to initialize your function, or basically the command, anything you need to initialize it, is added inside the init. And I guess errors are not imported. So let's just see what inputs they were. So the errors and fmpy. I'll just add fm. Right. So this should be a quick command. Added under cmd. Okay. So now I'll go to root.go. I'll so that's the import. Yeah, so you do see like I love Golang because of this. Like it automatically checks my file system, and it adds the package here. So that's Anirudh, and now I just go down. I do Anirudh dot. Okay, so it's Anirudh dot. Yeah, another thing in Golang is you need the name of any component, whether be it a function or variable, it should be capitalized. So that's my fault here. So I'll just fix it. I'll keep it Anirudh CMP. Right. So this is resolved, and yeah, we have a new command. So, and I'm famous now. I have a new command. So I just run make, which builds my mesheryctl. And yeah, it's done. So I do mesheryctl help. And okay, I didn't fix the naming conventions. Okay, let's go Anirudh, and okay, you need, so this is the command configuration. So I added Anirudh CMD, but I didn't fix the command. So let's just say uses Anirudh. Anirudh is great. He is, but anyway, blah blah blah.
Quite an advertisement. Continue.
And I guess this is a command. Okay. Now let's go back, build it again. And it's done. mesheryctl help. And yay, I'm in the system. Under this great. So this is adding a command here. And like if you want to add a sub command, like this was more about adding a command. So for adding a sub command, you simply create a new Go file. So Shruti, give me a name.
Shruti.
Okay. I don't know the spelling's wrong. Forgive me for that.
That's correct, actually.
Okay, so let's just say, wow. Okay, I'll copy it. I'm not one of those who would actually write the whole thing. So let's just say I copy the whole thing. I need a var. So let's just say Shriti CMD, and let's say Shriti. Yeah, Shriti is great, and long still blah blah blah. Okay, so this is a command here, and here in available subcommands. So I add here, I do Anirudh CMD dot add command, and you could see here like how do I add a command? I first create a Cobra command object at the array of it. So I'll go here, I'll do this, and for me it is Shriti CMD, and I'll do another CMD dot add command. Right. So now you go back, do a make. Okay. So now you do mesheryctl help. So you see my name here first. Then you do Anirudh help. So inside this question, okay. Shweta, you still didn't come here. So let's see what the issue was.
Drop in fame.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, anyway, so this is how, okay, yeah, I forgot to mention available supplements. Silly mistakes. Make sure you don't do these. Like, I do a lot of them. Available supplements. Cannot use available supplements, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, I'll just do cobra dot command here. There's commands. Okay, so this issue. I need dot 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 here to unpass it. And we are done, hopefully. Let's go make. And you have mesheryctl, Anirudh, help. And yay, Shriti is a command. Shriti is great. Right. So I guess you have a new command, Anirudh, and then you have a subcommand, Shriti. So
That's
this
great.
is how you create a
Yeah,
command.
perfect. Thank you for the short-lived fame, Anirudh. Anybody have any questions on this? Apart from the names, please. Prateek?
Nothing. I'll just get into it, and if I have, I don't have much understanding of entire thing right now, like how to add flags and all that stuff. I'll just
Okay.
go through that and then.
I'll give an overview on how to add flags. Right. I guess adding flags is one of the main thing here. So first thing, you would actually have to read the documentation on different type of flags. So currently, I'm just adding. I'm modifying Shriti, right? Shriti is going to be. Okay. Then you need to pass in a reference here. So let's just say var spec string. So a reference is passed here. You get a spec. Uh, I'm not like this command is basically for setting if the flag is required. Let's just set it required and then print it out. So fmt dot print let's just say spec, right? And in here, so whenever you use the value, you could just return. So I'll say fmt dot print ln here is spec, right? So just what happens is first you initialize it, you find a flag, and any flag that has the name spec or the shorthand s will pass the string value to uh, spec variable, which is a string here. So as soon as the string is populated, the run command, which is basically the main function here. So you have a lot of commands here. You could use pre-run, you could use post-run, and there are a lot of functions that you could add to Cobra command. And for that, I'd recommend you to look into the documentation. Right. So specifications. Yeah, let's just leave the static config. So this specs up, and I'll do a make. So mesheryctl Anirudh. Okay, what was the command? Okay, that's Shruti. Then let's say Shruti. Then pass in a file spec is great. This is the command. Invalid command, great. Okay. Spec. I guess this are the folders. Huh. Some other issue.
All right.
Yeah.
Anirudh, if this is our not solvable issue at the moment, maybe we can take this up in the next meeting.
Yeah, it would take me 1 minute, but this is basically how you add a flag. You basically say your command name dot flags and then the type of flag, which could be string var, int var, or anything. Then you pass in. Then you can basically look into what the function takes. So that takes it takes a string, which is string pointer, which would be your object where you need the value to be stored. Then you have a name, you have a shorthand value, and then the usage of it.
Sure.
That's how
Thank you so much, Anirudh. And if I have some doubts, I'll just bring you up.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Thank you so much, Anirudh. This was actually a really great demo. Thanks, Nupur. I hope your audio issues are sorted out soon. Everybody, thank you for coming in. I'm really sorry for keeping you 5 minutes over the time limit. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for listening to us. Again, thank you to Anirudh and Nupur. See you next week.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.